Welcome to Respawn Aim Fire, the kick-ass irreverent gaming podcast from Affable Idiots. I'm one of your hosts, Werner Herzog, Adam Gumbert, and today we have with us
I was wondering what was going
Excuse me. I am Werner Herzog. You will wait to speak. And today we have with us our Sizen, Chad Michael Innes.
Hi, I am Werner Herzog. Werner Herzog's brother. That's how names work. And we are here also recording with Werner Herzog, Werner Herzog.
That would be you. Sit in dine chair. We're talking to you, Alex Kozina.
My sister has been sick this past weekend, and I was about to ask if you're sick yourself. I mean, I guess that's a Werner Herzog accent. Very weird, though.
Dude, your sister
down with
it
the
didn't
sickness.
immediately put the brain cells didn't immediately connect on that one, to be totally honest.
I was in The Mandalorian. Bring me the
You were?
child. Yeah, anyways. Catch us live on twitch.tv/AffableIdiot Sunday evenings at 8:30 Eastern. YouTube podcast services Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Coming on today's show, it's a little interesting drop for PlayStation Plus. That's going to happen. But first up, we're talking about summertime. Summer. By the way, I'm watching WrestleMania currently as we're doing this. And Snoop Dogg, well, it's right over here. Snoop Dogg was on commentary, and
Snoop Dogg,
he
a
is
wrestling
hilarious. He's in the Wrestling Hall of Fame, I believe. Like, he's a big WWE guy. Like, he shows up a lot.
What does
Like,
he do in
wrestle,
the? What does he do in wrestling? He's obviously not wrestling.
He just hangs out. Yeah, he just hangs out. He likes it. He gets to be
What
on
is
stage
he in the
all
Hall
the
of
time.
Fame for, though? Like, what?
Just for being a friend.
Just for
being a
friend of
for being a
WWE.
buddy. Yeah, everyone likes him. So he was on commentary, and he is hilarious on commentary. I love that man. But speaking about gin and juice in summertime, summer showcases take shape. It's from Wesley LeBlanc at Game Informer. Ubisoft Forward will return to Los Angeles this summer during the same week as Geoff Keighley's annual Summer Game Fest, the company has revealed. More specifically, Ubisoft Forward will take place on Monday, June 10th.
Whoa!
With Summer Game Fest set for June 7th, with hands-on gameplay for upcoming games set for June 8th through the 10th. Seems fans will cap off the summer's gaming streams with Ubisoft Forward. As for what to expect, Ubisoft hasn't shared anything specifically. However, with a slew of upcoming in-developed games like Star Wars Outlaws, which we know we're getting a trailer for this week, Assassin's Creed Codename Red, Assassin's Creed Hexy, X-Defiant, and Division Heartland, there's plenty we might see at this year's Ubisoft Forward. Before I get to the second part, here we go.
Yes.
Werner Herzog.
For the record, you were the person doing the accent, not me.
Continue.
I was going to say, I'm interested in seeing how Ubisoft proceeds with their Ubisoft Forward presentation this year, because last year's Ubisoft Forward presentation was one of those presentations where it was sort of hot and cold, where you had a number of great games that were shown off in it, but the actual presentation component of the presentation was a little bit lacking. This is a little bit of a tangent, but it reminded me a lot of the big Nintendo Switch presentation that Nintendo did in early 2017, where they did a big blowout and really showed off a lot of what the Switch had to offer. That presentation was packed to the gills with a lot of great games, you know, Mario Odyssey, Breath of the Wild, Splatoon, Mario Kart 8 Ultimate, early teasers of No More Heroes games, even like cool indie stuff like Snipper Clips, for example. But because it was just so awkwardly presented and there was all sorts of weird translation issues, people kind of came away from it more dispirited than excited, even though on the whole, it should have been a win on paper. Similarly, you know, I have right in front of me right now, IGN.com's breakdown of everything that was shown off at the 2023 Ubisoft Forward. And I mean, it's an impressive spread. You have Star Wars Outlaws, Avatar Frontiers of Pandora, the Prince of Persia Lost Crown game, which Adam still wants me to play and which I will get to in due time, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Assassin's Creed Nexus, Jade, The Crew Motorfest, Captain Laserhawk. It's a really impressive spread, and yet it kind of felt like that presentation was laughed out of the room at the time because, again, the actual presentation values of the presentation were so out of whack. What with its extended segments spent interviewing developers that clearly did not have great on-screen presence, or just the feeling as a whole like it was just this weird attempt to be a pre-2009 era E3 press conference in an era where E3 is now officially shit-canned. Because, of course, at the time, the idea was originally it was going to be an E3 press conference, and that ended up not happening. And so, yeah, like, overall, I know it's easy to be like, oh, let's see what Ubisoft shows off this year. But, like, if they can pull off, again, the presentational values of what this is, this could be something to really look forward to.
I'm going to look forward to I think it was 3 years ago. I don't remember whether it was officially branded as Ubisoft Forward or whether it was part of E3 or whatever it was. But they spent, I think, the first 40 minutes of the pre-show looking at Trackmania. And that was just like I am looking forward to whatever Trackmania still has in store for the majority of this conference as well. Obviously, like Ubisoft, they're one of the biggest publishers that we have in this industry. I am curious, with Outlaws getting a reveal trailer 2 days from now, and then we know, first of all, also Assassin's Creed. I know that Call of Duty has this partnership with Mountain Dew, but like you missed an opportunity, Assassin's Creed Code Red. But Assassin's Creed Codename Red, I feel like it's probably coming this year. And then Division Heartland, it was like, well, Star Wars is a major player there. Why are we even revealing something on Tuesday if this is less than 2 months away until the Ubisoft Forward? It seems like they're cannibalizing their own announcements for their giant conference. Unless they have a bunch of secrets.
What was that one Mountain Dew flavor that Brian tricked us all with on that one podcast?
Poo-poo, pee-pee, something poop?
It was like reindeer piss, something.
No, it's like bird pee, or there's like an...
Yeah, I wish I could remember what it was, because it would be fun to play a game of like, what game would that actually pair well with?
Something with birds
like play Mountain Dew sommelier? Like wine pairings with Mountain Dew?
No, I mean like from a...
Oh, you just made an excellent future game on Game Show, Alex.
Ooh,
hey, I'm full of surprises. What can I say?
Yeah, I think Star Wars next week, I think we'll get story stuff, and then probably Ubisoft Forward will be like, it's out in 3 months, and here's like a big gameplay review or something. That would be cool. And then, yeah, I want to see more of the Red. Assassin's Creed in Japan always sounds good. We've been waiting for it. That'll be fun.
Do you think...
But yeah, I mean...
Do you think with Ghost of Tsushima and now... Like, there are so many games that Assassin's Creed Red could have been, but Ubisoft kept saying, no, we're not going to do it. No, we're not going to do it. And people are like, please do it. And then a bunch of other companies made really good Japan-based Assassin's Creed type games. And like, you think this is even going to tip the scales at all for Ubisoft, or people are like, no, cool, we already got what we wanted from these 4 or 5 other games?
No, it's a perfect time, because you got to think, like, Shogun's on TV and everyone's super into Japan stuff again, and then like,
I mean, Rise of the Ronin is scratching that itch for people too, though, right?
Nobody gives a shit.
No?
Nobody cares. That game's fine, whatever. No, I think it being Assassin's Creed in Japan, I think anytime you put anything in Japan, there will be an audience for it. And the Assassin's Creed also always has an audience, so I think they'll be fine no matter what.
I guess you're right. And also, like, Assassin's Creed, the franchise, has such permeability into other parts of human society that aren't gamers necessarily. So, like, they'll play an Assassin's Creed game where they probably don't even know Rise of the Ronin exists.
Stick with me on this. There is an alternate timeline, alternate timeline in the multiverse, where Ubisoft was able to make the modern day segments of the Assassin's Creed games really compelling and exciting. And in this alternate timeline, I feel like the prospect of a Assassin's Creed game set in Japan is really exciting, because you get the kind of dual, kind of like hot and cold of, you have modern day segments that take place in modern day Japan as a modern day assassin, and then you cut to segments that take place in ancient Japan as an ancient member of the Assassin Order. I feel like that dichotomy of you go back and forth between the past and the present is something cool that I feel like we haven't really seen from many other AAA games. Like, nothing is really kind of coming to mind in that regard. But I mean, nowadays, Ubisoft barely even acknowledges the modern day segments in their games. So it's a missed opportunity there.
As one of the 10 people on the earth who really cares about the modern day stuff, most people just skip it immediately and don't give a shit. Right. They're like, cool, awesome, but I just want to stab people in the past. So
hard pivot.
Scoop.
I know this is not what this segment is intended to be, but like, what's your one dream announcement that you want from Ubisoft Forward this year? Because I have one in mind.
I mean, you go if you've got one in mind. I'll think it.
I'm not even joking about this, but it's time for Rayman Raving Rabbids to come back. Like we've had
Yeah,
Fall
why
Guys,
not?
Mario Party is WarioWare, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is all mini games. Like it is time
So
for a free to play Raving Rabbids multiplayer Rabbids silly stupid mini game experience.
okay, so here's the thing. I was going to ask, do you want like a multiplayer mini game centric Raven Rabbids game? Raven Rabbids. That's not
That's
even
so
how they're
Raven
said.
Rabbids
Or
Corey
do
in
you
the house.
want something akin to the 2010 game Rabbids Go Home? Because that game, I don't know if either of you played that game.
No,
but that
that's made
game
up.
was no, it's a real game. Rabbids Go Home, a comedy adventure. That was its actual subtitle. That game, basically, you were controlling two rabbits that were going around in a shopping cart, collecting all sorts of trash to make a pile to the moon. This sounds so make up, but I swear it's not made up. And it basically was like if you took like a platforming game and fused it with Mario Kart, because the way your shopping cart controlled, you could like drift and do all sorts of like cool maneuvers like that. It was surprisingly decent, and they never really made a game like that again. So I'd be more down for that. But anyways,
No,
I don't know if they'll ever do it, but I would say a Rayman Legends or just another Ubi Arts platformer would be cool just to see, because we got like three of those and they never made more. And those games are really, really good. So I would like a new one.
I would love it if they were like, hey, the version of Beyond Good and Evil 2 that we showed off a decade ago before we went completely radio silent on that game is now completely dead. Beyond Good and Evil 2 is now just a sort of straightforward evolution of the original Beyond Good and Evil, which is to say it's not incredibly massive in scope. It is a contained Zelda-light experience in which you go around on this planet doing investigative journalism and clear some cool platforming puzzles. I don't think that will ever happen because I think Ubisoft can only think big when it comes to some of these, franchises, but I think that's probably the best course of action for that franchise at this point.
Oh, that game's just really never going to happen. But anyways, moving on to part 2 of the summer. What else are you doing in the summer besides tanning, drinking margaritas by the poolside?
Yeah.
With Werner Herzog reports on Xbox summer plans from Andy Robinson at VGC. Microsoft is reportedly planning to unveil new Gears of War and Call of Duty games at its traditional Xbox Summer Showcase. According to The Verge, which claims the event is currently planned for Sunday, June 9th, the same weekend as Summer Game Fest, as we mentioned above. So it would be Summer Game Fest, Xbox, and then Ubisoft to close out the weekend. Quote, a Gears announcement won't be the only new Xbox game at the show, which will also include release dates for the upcoming Xbox games like Microsoft Flight Simulator 24, Avowed, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, and of course a new Call of Duty that's set to debut later this year. That's all from Tom Warren at The Verge. So that weekend looking like we've got what's going on. I would love a new Gears announcement.
Yeah, it's time for something Gears
related.
related. See whatever's new in that franchise.
So, question. Did either of you play Gears of War 4 and or 5?
I played 5,
both,
and I liked 5 a lot. Especially the not asynchronous, but the asymmetrical co-op. I played it online with a friend, and I played through as, I forget her name, but the lead protagonist woman. Kate sounds right. But like seeing her hallucinate shit or seeing things from one perspective and then seeing the other person having no idea what I'm looking at and they see something different, like that was really cool. And the game just looked beautiful too. It was fun.
So here's the thing. I haven't played any of the Gears games, but like a lot of people in my position, I've sort of observed the series from the sidelines intently for a while now. And it sort of seems like right now, the Gears of War series is sort of stuck in this sort of weird position where, over the course of the past couple of console generations, you've had series that were, previously maligned, viewed as being kind of out of date, out of step with other games around them that turned things around and reinvented themselves. The two games that immediately come to mind when I say something like that are things like The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, or God of War 2018. Obviously, there are a lot of other games that we can name when we're kind of talking about this sort of stuff. And then on the other side of the spectrum, you have games that, have really kind of struggled to reinvent themselves and stand out. There are a lot of obvious examples we can point to, like, I don't know, like the 2022 Saints Row reboot that didn't do very well. But then I would even argue, and I know that I'm going to ruffle some feathers saying this, games like Halo Infinite and Starfield are kind of examples of games that have kind of fallen into that trap. Even though I enjoyed Halo Infinite and think it's a good game overall. And And so, yeah, jumping back to Gears of War, it kind of feels like the series is sort of stuck in this weird limbo between these two extremes where I remember the critical reception of Gears of War 5 being really, really strong. You guys really seem to like it, but it seems like nobody really played it, either because I guess it just came out at a bad time and or it wasn't marketed well, and or maybe it just lacked that it factor that, you know, so many of its more successful peers have. And like now going into Gears of War 6, I'm like, I don't really know what I kind of want out of this game as like a non-fan of the series, because it seems like the series has made the leap of reinventing itself for the modern era. It just seems like there's just something more fundamental at play or complicated that's sort of preventing it from achieving success. I don't know if anything I'm saying kind of like lines up with your own takes on the series. Like what's your takes? Like, do you think is the issue that the series is currently facing that it hasn't really been able to like fully reinvent itself, or like where do you stand on it?
I mean, I think it's fine. I think you just need to finish this arc of this story. It's like, yeah, 4 was definitely like, we're moving to a new era, even though stuff still connects. And now we're just at the point where it's like, yeah, just finish it up. Because the people who play Gears like Gears. They review well. They have players, and then the multiplayer is good. But it's just like, Gears 5 came out in 2019. So no one is talking about Gears 5 years later because it's been 5 years. So they just need to have it come out and be cool.
That's another thing too.
Good.
There's been so many years between Gears of War 5 and now. I mean, the pandemic has also made everything seem very long, but yeah.
My opinion should be taken, of course, with a giant grain of salt because I've only played 1, 2, and 5. But I feel like the narrative is kind of like they've gotten everything they can squeeze from these characters and this narrative, and they're just kind of like trying to figure out where the fuck do we go next. And honestly, if the next Gears of War is just the Xbox version of Helldivers, I think it's going to be that's the perfect reinvention of this franchise. It already is, you know, horde mode and locusts and bugs and shit like that. That's what this game is. Throwing grenades into locust holes, just like you throw grenades into these bug holes in Helldivers. Calling down the giant laser from the sky was ripped straight out of this too. Like, Gears of War inspired Helldivers so much that Gears of War becoming the new Helldivers just on Xbox instead of being a PlayStation exclusive, I think is like, that's the way to capture your audience in a brand new way. And then maybe there's very light narrative in there somewhere, or maybe you don't even focus on it.
That's what I was going to ask. Like, in this hypothetical future, is Gears of War even a single player experience anymore? And you're saying no, just entirely focus on the multiplayer.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll do it like every multiplayer shooter has a story mode that no one plays, but they do it anyways. Except for people care a little bit more about this one. Like Call of Duty keeps doing them, and like no one gives a shit, but they do them anyways.
But they are increasingly becoming, you know, fewer and fewer hours. Like the last one was like 4 hours or something like that.
Yeah. Well, the last one also they had to do in 16 months or something crazy. But yeah. No, I think just make it gorgeous. Do what you did in 5, like make it bigger, like it became like open world, multiple things. I think you can be fine and just close it out, and then you can reboot it later down the line. But they did interesting stuff. We'll see. It'll be a long time between games, but I guess games take a long time to make nowadays. By the way, the character's name is Kate Diaz. I don't know what I said. Did I say Catherine?
You said Kate.
Oh, I did say Kate.
Yeah.
I'm perfect. I have nothing to worry about.
How likely is it that the trailer for Gears of War 6 opens up with an even more sad and mournful version of Tears for Fears Mad World?
It's the German version.
Oh,
sung by Werner
Herzog.
This Gears 5 trailer was wasn't the Billie Eilish song, the bad guy song? I feel like that was badass. Something about it was.
Maybe it was.
And they
just reminds me of that movie.
They went under the stage. They're like, we're going under the stage to show you this one or whatever the fuck it was.
I'm just typing it in, but I have no idea. They always do good with their trailers. Anyways, but yeah. As far as that and the other stuff, cool. I would like to have a date on some of that stuff. Dope. It'd be a fun weekend. Chad, we asked this last year. Are you going to go to LA and hang out?
No, I will already be in Rhode Island for the final shape. We are, the Tuesday before this whole thing starts, so like 3 days before Summer Game Fest is when Final Shape release is. And so I'll be up there for that. And then it's looking like Joel and his wife are coming up that weekend to hang out. So yeah, we will be in Rhode Island all weekend. We were thinking like maybe, hey, if we get all the kids together and like do a movie night or something like that, but if like we just get them together and just watch these press conferences instead, that'll probably be much more interesting for us. And who cares about the kids' feelings? Who cares? We'll show them the Gears of War trailer and they'll be fucking ecstatic, I'm sure.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe I mentioned this at when we got together all together in Boston. But right now, I'm aiming to attend what are they calling it? Like IGN's having like a Fan Fest event.
I think it's just called Fan
around
Fest.
E3 time. And my assumption is if they're announcing that Ubisoft Forward will take place Monday, June 10th, my assumption is it's going to be the weekend of like June 7th, 8th, and 9th leading into that. So my fingers are crossed that that's probably when I will be in town in LA. But things might change.
We will see. All right, moving on then to Playtime. Talking about Playtime. Who am I going to start with? I'll start with Alex. What have you been playing? Apparently, something we've never heard of before.
Not exactly. So, as you all know, back when we were in Boston together, I played a little game by the name of Princess Peach Showtime. Excuse me, that was a monster barf. Whatever. Let's call them barfs from now on.
Well, we already have a barf thing, so we have to call it a vomit.
Oh man, that sucks. I was in Boston with you guys. I bought and played Princess Peach Showtime. Enjoyed it a lot. I thought that by this podcast, I would have completed it 100%, would have had everything that I had to say about it. But for whatever reason this week, I was like, I don't know. My heart feels compelled to play another game, and that game is Pokemon Recharge Yellow. So here's the thing. If you had tuned in to Cozy Bears Cooking Season 4, you'll know that while I was in the middle of baking things in my oven upstairs, what I would do is I'd scanter on over to my PC and I would play a Pokemon game. And that Pokemon game was Pokemon Recharged Yellow. Basically, it's a remake of Pokemon Yellow from way back in the Game Boy days. I was about to say Game Boy Color, but that was not it was just a colorful sounding game on the original Game Boy. A remake of Pokemon Yellow made in the Pokemon Fire Red Leaf Green engine with some quality of life improvements. It's made by the same developer that previously worked on Pokemon Unova Emerald, which you'll remember is the game that I really wanted to play during my trip to Europe last year, but that I was unable to because I wasn't able to gain access to a Europe-compatible GBA charge until almost the very end of that trip, and I had to play that real awful indie game, Moonlighter. Yeah, that was not a great time. The good news is I was able to use my Easy Flash Omega to get Pokemon Recharge Yellow working on a GBA cart and thus working on my GBA SP, and I've been playing it all weekend long. And here's the thing. Like I said, it's a remake of Pokemon Yellow, the Pokemon Fire Red and Leaf Green engine with some quality of life improvements. By and large, it is not dramatically different from just base Fire Red and Leaf Green. The main difference being that there are certain segments where Team Rocket will show up and challenge you to battles because Pokemon Yellow was specifically influenced by the Pokemon anime, which was ongoing at the time of its release. All that said, man, it is great to be playing a good old Pokemon game again. I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to share more thoughts on it in the coming weeks.
Are you? Did you get to transfer the save file that you were playing during Cozy Bears Cooking with all my Pokemon named in it?
Yes, I was.
Yeah.
In fact, right now, I will read to you my team of Pokemon. We have currently battling a Weezing, Primal the Rhyhorn. That's a Pokemon I caught more recently. We have Rygar the Charmeleon. We have Mank the Mankey. We have Simsala the Kadabra. We have Jules the Victory Bell. And finally, last but not least, named by Chad Michael Innes himself, we have Butthugger the Pikachu.
Oh,
so
thank you.
Butthugger and co will do their best to make their way to the Elite Four, and I will keep you updated.
Love it.
All right, Chad, what have you been playing as of late? I want to know, where's the baby? Bring me the child.
Where is the child? I will. It's a lot of repeats and then one new experience. First, Tuesday, as people are listening to this on demand on podcast services and YouTube, is the launch date of Destiny 2 Into the Light, which is the brand new mode that comes with a bunch of free-to-play content for everyone. It's not paid or anything like that. It comes with the new Onslaught Horde mode. It comes with a ton of new reprised weapons to go back and get. It also comes with a raid boss rush mode, where you are going through this gauntlet of raid bosses with increasing difficulty as you go from boss to boss. And unintentionally, last night, we kind of did a raid boss gauntlet with 5 people, Adam. We couldn't find a 6th person, and I totally forgot you existed and didn't even text you to try to fill in that 6th slot.
Classic Chad guffaw.
But yeah, we were all Jerick was like, "Hey, I need some red border weapons. I need some deep sights." And so yeah, we started out with Rolk from Valor the Disciple, slapped his ass. I think it was the second try. The first try, we all just like didn't like it. We hadn't played that raid in so long. We were like, how does the fuck does this work again? But then yeah, then we slapped his ass real quick on the next try. Then we booped on over to Nezarek over there in the Root of Nightmares raid. Slapped his ass with 5 people. Then we scooted on over to Crota and killed Crota. Made Oryx pissed off again. Said that's what you get for being a bad dad. And so yeah, those were all relatively simple with 15-ish% of our team missing. So that makes me real horny for Tuesday's boss rush mode. Actually, I can't remember whether the boss rush is coming Tuesday at the start of Into the Light or April 30th when a little bit of the new content drops. Anyway, that's coming. Played more Tabletop Simulator, and it is getting easier to use the more practice we get with it. To play that Star Wars Unlimited, that sweet, sweet, juicy Star Wars Unlimited. But that made me think, oh my God, this would be so good in fucking AR or VR. And so I have on here my Apple Vision Pro. I slapped that thing on. There was a software update that I didn't realize how much of this was new at the time, but there's a software update that allows you to have kind of like shared augmented reality experiences with other people who have Vision Pro. And so there's this Apple Arcade game. It's like, I don't know, some generic ass like game box. It has all of the like chess and checkers. It has Battleship, but it's an off-brand version of it. So it's called Sea Battle or something like that.
Battle boats.
Yeah. It has Yahtzee, but it's just called Yacht. And so, but it was really fucking cool to have these, in Vision Pro, you have these personas, which are like 3D representations of you that are animating your eyes, your face, your cheeks, your mouth, your teeth, your tongue, all of this like in real time as you're speaking, and your hands are all included too. So it was really cool to be able to, my friend and I hopped on a FaceTime for like 90 minutes, played some Yacht. We played some Battleship, and just being able to like do all of that.
You need to stop saying that.
What?
You need to stop saying that.
Oh, sorry. Sea Battle. Yacht and Sea Battle. I will stop saying Battleship because that's trademarked. TM, Milton Bradley.
No, not that one.
So we played that like in my living room, and he was sitting across from me as a little ghost in my living room. It was fucking awesome. And then we were able to like, hey, let's try this out with a movie. And we were sitting in the fucking Desert of Joshua tree, staring at a giant 3D Mad Max Fury Road. And we looked at the side like we're sitting on a couch together, separated by 200 miles. It was really, really cool. And that just made me think, God, I cannot wait for more shared game. Like when we finally have Tabletop Simulator or some kind of like board game or trading card game that I can like have on the desk in front of me in my space and play with somebody like who's in front of me and talking to me. I can't wait. It's going to be fucking wild.
That is the thing. I think someone was going to do it or someone was working on it. I don't know. It's so easy to just like do AR or VR or whatever and make it Yu-Gi-Oh! Give people the little battle things. Remember as a kid, that the coolest toy of all time, even though it doesn't make sense to use in real life. Give me that in AR and let me play Yu-Gi-Oh! With like a fake armband.
Yep.
I would buy the fucking VR thing in a heartbeat for that.
Yep.
That's the killer app, but they don't want to do it.
And then the last thing I have here is played more Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. I have made it to the gold saucer, which is the mini game central. In the game, it's in the original game, Final Fantasy VII. It was the place. It's like a carnival, like a theme park type thing with just tons of mini games in it. And of course, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is start to finish all just a ton of mini games back to back to back. So I am going to spend the next probably 7 years of my life at the Gold Saucer playing all the mini games until I get the highest rank on every single one of them. It just blows my mind the number of games so far in this thing that I've like there are full-fledged. These are indie games. Every single one of these is its own game. It could be released as its own game, or even just like a Mario Party type collection of games. And they're all so imaginative and different and mostly great. And I'm blown away by the breadth of content in that game. And so, another really 15 years and I'll be done and ready for a spoiler review.
I was going to say, I'm really happy that you're still enjoying this game, enjoying all the mini games, but that spoiler cast is never going to happen.
Not with that attitude. Just make sure you write down all your thoughts because you're never going to remember them by the time I'm done.
I probably should do that.
That's it. That's what I played.
All right, dope. As for me, I did two things. One of them you can listen to now.
Adam really didn't have a lot of pep in his step when he said, "All right, dope." Like he was just like, "Oh yeah, great." Final Fantasy
I told you
Rebirth,
I am actively watching WrestleMania. Night 2 of WrestleMania.
What just happened?
Logan Paul just got punched in the face by Randy Orton. So that's a thing.
Logan Paul gets to get beat up in this thing? You should have told me that. I would have watched
all the time. It's great. He gets the shit beat out of him. It's wonderful. He's a very good wrestler. So I have two things that I did. First up, you can listen to this now if you're on the podcast feed or get on YouTube. Biomorph is a game that I had for review. Biomorph is a game that I had for review. That review is now up in audio and video form. It's basically a hand-drawn Metroidvania, but you have Kirby powers. That's the way they do the Metroidvania part of it. You kill the aliens, you take their powers, you become the aliens. It's a very cool twist on that formula. Go ahead, Cozy.
I always get this game confused with Biomutant.
Same.
Which was the game where you play as a raccoon with an eye patch. How does this game compare to that game?
I didn't want to bother playing Biomutant, and I really liked Biomorph, so there's that.
Okay. You heard it here first, folks.
You do play as an alien, so maybe it's sort of a raccoon. It's more of a cat than a raccoon, but you play as a little weird alien creature.
Biomorph compared to Biomutant, but also Balatro?
They're both indie games.
Okay.
They both start with the letter B.
Mm-hmm.
And I've reviewed both of them, so there's that.
There you go. 3 syllables.
Papa John's. Is that where you're going? Or is that
No, I was just curious.
But no, it's a cool game. Again, I had like a 15-minute review. You guys go check that out. The other game that I played that I'm going to do a review whenever my guest is free, because I have a guest for this one.
Ooh.
Really cool new person we're hanging out with. Pathfinder Gallowspire.
Oh, I thought this was going to be Pepper Grinder.
Pepper Grinder. No, I have not played Pepper Grinder yet.
Pathfinder what?
I will eventually. Gallowspire. Let me double check. Let me look at my desktop because it is on my desktop right now. Pathfinder Gallowspire. It is Pathfinder is a like a fantasy RPG. It's basically like huge fans of D&D, like 3.5 edition, made their own system, and that's Pathfinder. But this game is Vampire Survivors, but in fucking D&D world is basically the easiest way to explain it. Where it is you are playing Vampire Survivors, but you have a party. You have like your character and another character goes with you, and it's in more modern graphics. And you run around, collect your upgrades. It auto fires and auto shoots and everything. You fight bosses, go up levels, all that. Again, it is Vampire Survivors, but they threw a Pathfinder skin on top of it.
What?
And it's really, really good. This one I reviewed on PC. I think it is only currently on PC.
This sounds interesting to me.
Yes, I think it's currently on PC, maybe coming other places. Biomorph is coming to other consoles this year.
Okay.
That one's currently on PC, but it is confirmed for other places. But yeah, no, Pathfinder, very cool. I'm sure it'll come to consoles because, all those kind of games do. Super good. I like it a lot.
Oh, hey, I have an announcement.
Review will come out later this week.
I have an announcement, a call to action for everyone out there. One, if you are still playing Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, join the RAF I don't know, guild, clan, whatever it is in there. And I'm sure Matt would like to play with you. But 2, if anyone's out there playing Astro Duel, I never got a chance to play this at PAX, and I now own Astro Duel, and I would like to play Astro Duel 2 with some people. So if anyone wants to hit me up, send me a DM on Twitter, a text message, shout it into the wind if the wind is in your favor, and I'll play with you.
I think me and Joel will play with you for sure.
Hot.
If you don't mind me asking, Chad, is Matt like really close to getting the platinum? Like, does he need like some friends to like help him grind out the plat, or is he just like happily playing this game, platinum be damned?
I don't think he is happily playing this game.
Okay.
But I think he is. I think he is occasionally. I think he jumped into the new season, I think, at least to try it out. But I have no clue. He is a person who will enjoy the occasional platinum trophy, but I don't think that's driving him right now. I think he just was playing the game and enjoyed it and wanted to see what it was like with other people. But then no one else in the world also bought it, and that's it.
Like I said, when it's on sale for $20, but I'll jump in there and do all the content with you. Do not worry, I'm keeping my promise.
When it's on sale for $20, I will genuinely look at that trophy list and be like, okay, how much of a waste of my life is this going to be?
I will not.
If it's not too bad, I might consider.
I will not.
Chad, why do you keep call to action, but you won't do it?
Because,
you gotta be a good
Adam,
friend.
I promote and amplify my friends' desires to help them move forward with things that bring them joy.
Okay. I appreciate that you at least listen, unlike some other people on the podcast who are like, this thing sounds cool. And we'll ignore that Adam literally reviewed this already. That's fine.
Sounds like that could be both Alex and I. So
It's both of you. It's both of you. No. But yeah, no, Biomorph review is up. Pathfinder Galaspire review will be up once my guest is available to do that. And that's all I've played. Moving on to Questlog, though. That's one story for the day. And this is a good one, especially for Chad, since you're locked. You're forced to have PlayStation extra premium. This is good for you. PlayStation Plus is treating Respawn Aim Fire good this month. It's Wesley Inpool at IGN.com.
That's cool that Wesley knows we exist. And
yeah,
then he
puts
that in his article title. That's cool. Did you pay him for that publicity?
No, we're just good buds.
Nice.
We were up to 3 a.m. with the Cyberpunk devs getting drunk, and I asked him to do it, and he said he would do it for me. Sony has announced 2 additions to the PlayStation Plus game catalog in April of 2024. In a post on the PlayStation blog, Sony announced that Dave the Diver hits PlayStation Plus games catalog on April 16th. That's important because Dave the Diver is our barf game backlog accomplishment with Respawn and Friends for the month of April. So if you want to play Dave the Diver and you don't have a PC, it's coming to PlayStation on April 16th and will be in PlayStation Plus game catalog the day it launches.
To be clear, game catalog is the thing that you get access to with the extra or premium level of subscription.
Yeah, you've got to have the upper tiers. Sony also announced that Tales of Kizaru Zhao releases day 1 into PlayStation Plus game catalog on April 23rd. This EA-published Surgeon Studio-developed 2.5D story-driven action exploration game was shaped by Assassin's Creed actor Abu Bakr Salim's own experience with grief. PlayStation Plus game catalog is available with PlayStation Plus Extra and Premium memberships. The reason this matters, again, it's cool to get these games day 1. Again, we're reviewing Dave the Diver. It's going to be there. Tales of Kizaru Zhao, I have talked about for a while. I'm very excited for, and I plan on doing a review for as well. So if anyone is out there and is like, oh, I like what these RAF dudes are doing, and you want to spend $50 a month, you can play these games on that service for free.
I am excited because these are 2 games that I have wanted to play. It is also, I have, again, PlayStation Premium for the next 2 months. It expires in 2 months, which means it'll force me to play these games, hopefully, in a timely manner so that I can talk about them close to launch, which is cool. So I'm very excited about this. And these are both games that feel like work well on the PlayStation Portal and have a lot of travel coming up over the next 6 weeks. So I feel like this will where I spend a lot of my time.
Yeah, didn't think about it. Probably does work very well.
It's definitely one of the stronger PlayStation Plus months in recent memory, even though you do technically have to be subscribed to one of the higher tiers to get some of these games.
Speaking of PlayStation Plus, also, I didn't realize the new games this month also include Immortals of Avium, which I've always been curious about, but didn't want to spend any money on. So,
yeah, I was going to say, another perfect example of the kind of game that you want to come to PlayStation Plus. Because maybe you don't want to spend full price on it, but you want to still give it a shot.
Dope. So yeah, RAF fans, thank you, Wesley. I owe you another beer, and yeah, very good. We're gonna move on though, Chad. It's that time.
Segment from Adam. Segment from Adam. Segment from Adam. A segment from Adam. A segment from Adam. 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 A segment from Adam. Segment from Adam. A segment from Adam. A segment from Adam. Segment from Adam. A segment from Adam. Segment from Adam. That's the gold soccer theme in Final Fantasy VII.
Oh, I assumed it was a dork thing. By the way, I love that you've held your dog this entire time. It's been like 30 minutes.
Dude has been, ever since I was gone in Boston at PAX and I came back, he's been the clingiest little housefly. And he's like, I cannot be away from you for more than 2 seconds. So
it happens.
I can't tell you how many work things that I've written, emails, documents, things like that, with one hand as I, peck at the keyboard while I hold him with the other arm.
That's fucking wild. Love it. So this week's segment, I'm going to call it The Peak. And this was inspired by a couple things. So I listened to Kind of Funny. People who listen to this know that. And he was mentioning, Greg Miller was talking about his friend's son, Jack, was hanging out. He was like, basically him and his friends only fucking play Fortnite and Roblox. It's like, do you guys care about these narrative games? Like, no one gives a shit, bro. None of these kids give a fuck. I was also talking to my son about like the games he plays, and he's like, he literally made fun of me. He's like, all you do is play like single player games by yourself. You don't have any friends. No one plays that shit. Like nobody, like these kids. But I wanted to do an experiment. I'm like, how true is that next generation, the kids growing up's, what they like compared to what some old people like, whatever it is. So this segment is called The Peak, sponsored by my kids' gaming habits. Here's the rules. It's a game show. Cozy, keep score for the both of you, please, since Chad only has one hand. All right. I'm going to give you a set of 4 video games, right? You'll need to order them by all-time peak concurrence on Steam. So I'm using a Steam website to track, like, what are people actually playing? Again, it's the all-time peak. So, like, when was the most popular moment for this video game of all time? Doesn't matter how many sales it was. It's just how many people are playing a game at a certain time. That's the easy way to track it, right? These are, again, all Steam numbers. You have one chance to give me an order, and then you'll have a second chance to reorder it. So basically, I'm like, oh, you've got one right. Change them if you want. Do whatever. If you get 4 for 4 on the first guess, you're locked in. Everyone's locked in. So let's say Chad has 2 right on the first guess. Cozy gets all 4. Cozy gets 4 points. Chad gets 2 points. You don't get a chance because you already know the answers. Most points by the end wins. All right. So again, all-time peak concurrence. That's what we're looking for here.
Are we both guessing the order of every single matchup? And are we like snake draft style so that one of us doesn't always influence the other one?
Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
We'll do that. Chad, you can go first, and then Cozy, and then whatever. Okay. So again, these are in alphabetical order, but then you need to tell me the actual order by the most concurrence. So like, what is the actual popular game on Steam?
Okay.
First up, calling this section PlayStation on PC. We know Helldivers 2 beat the shit out of every other PlayStation game's concurrence earlier this year. Like, it blew past all of them. Multiplayer game. Maybe the kid's onto something. But what about the rest? So I'm going to give you a set of 4 PlayStation games. Tell me the order of their highest peak concurrence. So first up, Days Gone, Helldivers Dive Harder, which is the PC version of Helldivers 1.
Okay.
Horizon Zero Dawn Complete Edition, and Spider-Man Remaster. So I need the order put lowest to highest. So lowest goes first, highest goes last. Days Gone, Helldivers 1, Horizon Zero Dawn, Spider-Man. Give me your order. Chad, give me an order whenever you're ready.
I'm going to...
Sorry, I know you might have already said this, but it may have slipped my mind. What month is this? Like, what period of time?
All time.
This is the all-time peak concurrent. It does not matter with the time period.
Okay, got it.
It is the all-time, what was the most moment in time that someone was playing this. Yeah, doesn't matter when it was.
I'm going to say
Chad,
Helldivers 1 is the lowest.
Okay.
Followed by... What were the other games mentioned? Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, and...
Days Gone, Horizon Zero Dawn, and Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, okay. So I'm going to say Helldivers is the lowest. Horizon Zero Dawn is the second lowest. Days Gone, and then Spider-Man was the most.
Okay. Cozy, what is your guess?
I'm going to go with the slightly safer version of Chad's answer and say Helldivers lowest, followed by Days Gone, followed by Game with woman that has red hair that I forget with the giant robots.
You hate women, huh?
No.
Can't even remember the name
Why'd
of the
I say
game.
that?
You don't know the name of the game.
Pathetically. Fuck. Horizon.
Okay.
Horizon, second place. Spider-Man, first place.
Okay. Locked it in. Cozy, got it. 4 for 4. Chad, you're locked in for 2. You got 2 out of 4. So you have give Cozy 4, give Chad 2. It is Helldivers 1 at 6,744, Days Gone at 27,000, Horizon Zero Dawn at 56,000, and Spider-Man at 66. So everywhere from down to 6. It's crazy to see Helldivers 2 numbers compared to that. It's fucking pretty crazy. All right. Oh, wait a minute. Our second set of questions are also PlayStation on PC. PlayStation for PC Part 2 coming your way. All right, I have more PlayStation games on PC. We're going to in the same order. Cozy, you got to tell me first. Those games are Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Horizon Forbidden West, The Last of Us, and Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Everybody's Gone to the Rapture, Spider-Man, Miles Morales. I missed the other 2.
Last of Us and Horizon Forbidden West.
Okay.
I am going to say, Everyone's Gone to the Rapture is definitely last place. And then I will say from there, I am going to say that The Last of Us is in third place. And then I'm going to say that Spider-Man is in second place and Horizon Forbidden West is in first place.
Okay, Chad, what is your answer?
I'm going to say Rapture is definitely at the bottom. Although it's one of my favorite games ever, so it's not a value judgment. And then Spider-Man, Horizon, and what was the third one?
Last of Us.
Last of Us, I think, is going to be third. So right above Everybody's Gone to the Rapture. And then I feel like Forbidden West just came out. So I don't know whether that's a good thing for it and say, hey, everyone who wanted to play it's going to play it immediately, or whether it's like not enough people have gotten to buy it yet. I'm going to put Horizon Forbidden West at second and then Miles Morales up top.
Okay. Cozy has 2 correct. Chad has 1 correct.
Oh, buttholes.
Oh.
So, with that information, Cozy, do you want to change your answers or do you want to keep what it is?
I've got 2 correct. Interesting.
What was Cozy's order again? Now I want to compare.
Cozy, do you remember your order?
My order was Rapture in 4th place, Last of Us in 3rd place, Spider-Man in 2nd place, Horizon in 1st place.
Okay. Mine was the same order, but I swapped the top 2.
Well, I feel like that doesn't really give many other options. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swap it around in the middle. I'm going to go Rapture 4th, Horizon 3rd, The Last of Us 2nd. No. Everyone's Gone to Rapture in 4th place. Spider-Man, Miles Morales in 3rd place. The Last of Us in 2nd place. Horizon in 1st place.
All right, Chad, what are you doing?
I'm doing Rapture at the bottom. Fuck, what did I say? What did I say earlier? Oh, Rapture at the bottom, Miles Morales, Horizon, Last of Us. Big change.
Okay. Chad, give yourself 2 points. Cozy, give yourself a 4 for 4.
Son of a fuck.
Woo!
He moved it to the correct one. Yeah, everyone Gone to the Rapture. All time, by the way, this is the lowest on the list. All time peak concurrent of 190 people.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Spider-Man Miles Morales at 13,000, which is disappointing and upsetting to me. Last of Us at 36, Horizon Forbidden West at 40. So that is the current list as it is. All right, so Cozy, I believe, is ahead by 8-4.
Correct.
It's still, you can come back, Chad. We still have a couple more of these to go. This next section is called Gaming with the Buds. This is like, oh yes, multiplayer games. My kid is probably right. Let's see what these concurrents are. So there's only 4 answers total for this one. Again, I'm giving to you in alphabetical order. Tell me the actual order, lowest to highest. First up is Among Us. Second is Content Warning. Third is Lethal Company. And 4th is Valheim. Among Us, Content Warning, Lethal Company, Valheim. Chad, I believe you're up first on this one.
Let's see. Valheim at the bottom. Content Warning right above that, even though I have no idea what it is. Lethal Company at number 2, Among Us at number 1.
Okay. Cozy, you go.
The very bottom is going to be Content Warning. And then from there, we're going to go Valheim, then Lethal Company at number 2, and then at number 1 is good old Among Us.
Cozy has 1, Chad has 0.
Oh, wow. Shit.
So, if you want a second to get your mind together.
What was Cozy's lineup again?
Cozy, do you remember what it was?
Content Warning at the bottom.
Content Warning, Valheim, Lethal Company, Among Us.
Okay. All right, here's what I'm going to do. Content Warning at the bottom. Among Us at number 3. Valheim at number 2. Lethal Company at number 1.
Okay, Cozy, what are you giving me?
I'm going to put Valheim at number 4. I'm going to put Lethal Company at number 3. Valheim at number 4. Let me think this through.
Time's ticking.
The problem is I'm trying to remember what I did the first time around.
It's tough, ain't it?
Yeah, it's tough. Okay. Here's what I'm going to say. Can I count from like most to least, or do
if you want to, that's fine. Yeah.
Most is going to be Among Us. Then I think that's followed by Valheim. Then Content Warning. Then Lethal Company.
Ooh.
Controversial 4th place for Lethal Company, but I'm winging it.
Alex, okay. I had 2 of those in the same spot my first round, and I got 0 points.
I was going to say, Cozy's sitting at a hot 0 for that round.
I don't even remember what Chad's was.
Absolutely, it's fine. Cozy at 0. Chad, you got 1. Congratulations. Okay, Give yourself 1 point, Chad. So the funny thing about this is that the lowest game on this list is more than 4 times of the highest PlayStation game concurrent. It's just like a funny thing on here. Content Warning is in last place at 204,000 concurrents.
Okay.
That game just came out a week ago. And it's a multiplayer.
It's one of those things where like I only had heard of Content Warning via the stream of IGN that IGN did of it. And so, you never know if like, oh, this is a game that has been huge for years, but just recently got like super duper big. And so that's why they're playing it. Or again, if it is a game that literally just came out last week.
It just came out and is already massive. 204. Number 3 was Lethal Company at 240,000. Okay. Number 2, was Among Us at 447,000, and Valheim's in first place with 502,000.
People really, I mean, it's not surprising to me that Valheim was big, but like Among Us felt like just a monolith during the pandemic. Like it felt like no game was bigger. But
you know what though?
At its peak.
You know what though? A lot of people played that on their phones. A lot of people played that on mobile and not Steam.
Yeah, it wouldn't be on Steam. That's true. That's still crazy numbers for
on consoles too. Like, correct me if I'm wrong, but Valheim has not really come to consoles, right?
It is now, but yeah, at the time it was only on Steam.
Yeah,
get crazy numbers for the lowest one on here to be 4 times anything besides Helldivers that PlayStation has done. Next up, Xbox games on Steam. We've done PlayStation, we've done multiplayer. Now we're doing Xbox games on Steam. These games are Grounded, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Sea of Thieves, and Starfield. Cozy, you're up first. Grounded, Microsoft Flight Simulator, Sea of Thieves, and Starfield.
Grounded, nothing against it, but that one is going to be in 4th place. And then I'm going to say that Sea of Thieves is in 3rd place. And then I'm going to put Sophie's choice here. I'm going to put Microsoft Flight Simulator at 2nd place, and I'm going to put Starfield at 1st place.
Okay, Chad, what are you thinking?
I'm doing Starfield at the bottom. Flight Sim at number 3. Grounded at number 2. What the fuck is left? Sea of Thieves at the top.
Sea of Thieves. Okay, Cozy has 2,
But
Chad has 0.
In that case, I'm gonna Grounded at number 4, Sea of Thieves at number 3. At number 2 will be Starfield. Number 1, Microsoft Flight Simulator.
Okay, Chad, what is your new order?
You said I had 0 last time, right? Okay.
You had 0 last time, yes.
So we're going Starfield up top as like the most. We're going
The
with
most, okay.
Sea of Thieves at number 2. Fuck, I can't remember anything.
Like number 2 most.
And then Grounded at
You
number
went
3
down, okay.
most. And then
You have Grounded and
Grounded
Flight
at number 3
Simulator.
most, and Flight Simulator at the least.
Okay, Chad, you have 2 points. Cozy, you have 1 point. You actually lost points on that one, buddy. Yeah. So, funny enough, the order that I said them in is the order that they are in. That's just how alphabetical order works sometimes. Yeah, Grounded at 32,000, Flight Simulator at 61, Sea of Thieves at 66, and Starfield at 330,000. So, that's interesting.
I mean, I suspect that Starfield did a lot concurrently at the time of its release because it's, Bethesda's big new RPG in many years. I would have thought that Microsoft Flight Simulator would be a little bit more up there.
That might be a Game Pass thing because it was on Game Pass and those aren't Steam numbers, those are Microsoft. Well, even Starfield being on Game Pass and still having 330 is pretty wild, but yeah. All right, next up. What are the current scores now?
Chad has 7, I have 9.
Ooh, it's it could be anybody's game. So, I have one last round, and this will be a fun one. I call this the GOAT bonus round.
Boners.
These are the greatest of all time. GOAT boners, we're here. This is 6 games. All of these games are above 1 million concurrents. These are the 6 most popular games on Steam all time for concurrents, right? Okay. I'm going to give them to you. Order me them however you want, front to back, back to front, whatever. But these are the 6 most popular games on Steam. And again, alphabetical order. These are Counter-Strike 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Dota 2, Lost Ark, Pal World, and PUBG. And I believe
is it okay if I write
go ahead and write
6
it down.
Games in the order that you gave them? So not to give
Counter-Strike 2, Cyberpunk 2077, Dota 2, Lost Ark, Pal World, and PUBG.
Who's going first this time?
So I believe it's Chad first.
Trying to do capital. There we go.
All right.
There we go.
Top to bottom. From most to least is what I'm going. Ready?
Most
Dota 2.
Cool.
Under that, Pal World. Under that, PUBG. Under that, okay.
Hold on, slow it up. So you have Dota at top.
Pal World.
What'd you have 2?
PUBG.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Lost Ark. Counter-Strike.
Okay.
Cyberpunk.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Cozy, you go for yours.
Oh, I'm going to say Counter-Strike at number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I was about to say Bioshock. That's not on here.
Not on the list.
PUBG at number 2. I'm going to go Lost Ark at number 3. Pal World at number 4. Dota 2 at number 5. Cyberpunk 2077 at number 6. Now that I read that all out, I'm like, this is probably not a great selection, but I'm locking in.
So I'm trying to do a lot of numbers in my head, so it's tough. I believe Chad has 3. I believe Cozy has 1.
Okay. Well, I might as well just completely throw that out.
Well, not one of them. You got one of them good.
Not one of them.
So, Chad, this is the thing where strategy comes in. Do you just stay with your list and give yourself your 3 points? Or do you want to change it up? It's up to you, bud.
I'm going to lock it in. Lock it in with 3. Yep.
You're going to lock in your 3. Okay.
So means, Cozy, you have to get at least 2.
Chad is locking in his 3 points.
Okay.
And don't ask for Chad's order because I don't remember. I was trying to count it in my head as he was saying. I'm like, okay, I think he's got these many correct. If I'm wrong,
Chad,
oh well, it's a game. It doesn't matter.
Will you give me your order?
Don't do it. Don't. He's going to copy you and win. Don't do that.
That's right. I don't remember my order, Alex. Oh, no. I think I just went alphabetical.
Alex, give me your new order.
What if it probably will be alphabetical?
So type down 3 points for yourself, Chad, because I don't want to keep holding my 3 fingers.
I'm at 10 total.
So I got to count Alex's now to see how many he gets. Okay, Alex, give me your final order. The most popular games on Steam of all time, 1 to 6 or 6 to 1 or however you want to do it.
Dota 2, Counter-Strike.
No, is this your number? You're going number
starting
1?
Starting from most to least.
Okay.
This will be most to least.
Okay, so Dota
2, Counter-Strike.
Slow down.
Counter-Strike in 2.
Okay.
Power World at 3. Cyberpunk at 4. PUBG at 5. Lost Ark at 6.
Cozy did even worse. That is 0 points for Cozy. You completely.
Well, now I'm just what I'm curious about is what is number 1, because I thought, Chad, because the only one I remembered from Chad's is I believe Chad said Dota 2 in first place. And so I assumed, that must be one of the correct ones. That makes sense.
Chad got close to the bottom of the list, more correct than he did at the top. So the number 1 most popular game all time on Steam is PUBG at 3,250,000 players.
Okay.
PUBG is a big deal. Anyone tries to say, who cares about PUBG? Fucking everyone and their fucking mom cared about PUBG. They really did.
What do you know what year that was?
I could go back and look. It's somewhere on that page, but
yeah,
its concurrents even to this day are still pretty fucking high. Like when you look at this list,
respect.
It's still pretty good.
Respect.
Number 2 on the list was Power World at 2,101,000. Again, these are literally, this list is just games my son plays with his friends. I'm like, yeah, I get it, bud. Number 3 is Counter-Strike 2 at 1,818,000. Then we go to Lost Ark at 1,325,000. Then it's Dota 2.
Is that like another one of those survival games?
Lost Ark was a MMO made by Amazon Games.
I don't even remember that one.
Yeah, it was big. And then next up was Dota 2 at 1,295,000. And then last was Cyberpunk at 1,054,000.
I expected Dota to be bigger than that.
So Chad is the winner. I mean, again, these numbers are massive. Like when you look at so I was listening to someone on a podcast years ago talk about here's this multiplayer game that is considered successful. It was Rainbow Six Siege. So Rainbow Six Siege is considered successful. People like it, is enjoyable. It keeps getting support. And that had 25,000 concurrents on the regular. 25,000 to be a successful multiplayer game. So when Dota 2 is 1.29 million, they're doing just fine. I'm with you though. I'm shocked it's not number 3 or something. But anyways, that's the game. Chad is the winner. Chad understands the young kids don't give a fuck about walking through a hallway and talking about their feelings. They want to shoot stuff with their friends. We're here. That's my segment for the week.
Great segment. That brings us to Game On Game Show. The Game On Our Gaming Show play a game called Game On, the gaming show on our game show. Game. Take it, Alex.
Thank you, Chad. Today, we are doing TMI with NPD for the year 2013. Of course, this was the year that the PlayStation 4 and Xbox One released worldwide, but it was also the kind of final hurrah of the PlayStation 3, Xbox 360, and, the Wii U was limping along there as well, doing its own thing. 3DS is also in store shelves. The PlayStation Vita also in store shelves, although that one not doing as well. Certainly an interesting and dynamic year. Let's go over the rules. The Chad lock, as usual, is in play, which means that after 2 clues on any entry on this list, Chad, you can Chad lock in, and I will give you exclusive rights to guess what you think the answer is without Adam interrupting. NBA 2K for this year is out of play. The Madden for this year is out of play. And as usual, this year's Call of Duty
can we get rid of the guaranteed Adam point of guessing who's on the cover of Madden? Like that, my Chad lock is not a guaranteed point. It was there as a handicap, and now you're giving Adam a guaranteed point every time by guessing who's on the cover of this thing.
Take away a point for him complaining.
What if we make it so that whoever is tailing the other player will get the chance? No,
because that's a guaranteed lose for me. You know, I know two football men, and Adam knows every answer to all of those Madden questions.
But if I'm up, it doesn't hurt you. If I'm up or we're tied, it doesn't hurt you, though. It only helps me.
When we get to it, we'll figure it out. Are we ready to go?
Yeah.
I'm not happy about it, but I'm ready to go.
Right, here we go. Number 13. The 13th best-selling game of the year 2013, per the NPD Group /Circana, is a game from a prominent Chicago-based studio. Half of this game's title
Mortal
is
Kombat
the
versus
namesake
DC.
Of a popular...
Buttholes.
That is incorrect. Half of this game's title is the namesake of a popular social deduction game. It is...
The Last of Us?
In terms... That is incorrect. It is, in terms of genre, a fighting game. All right, here we go. Final clue. And it's set within a parallel universe known as Earth 49. It's a game from a prominent Chicago-based studio.
Chad, hurry up and guess so I can get it, please.
Is the namesake of a popular social deduction game. It's a fighting game. Can you say the full name?
Gods Among Us.
Ooh, I know he can't. Oh, he does
Injustice,
know it.
Gods Among Us.
Well, I knew it was NetherRealm because I went
half of this and you got
returned
Among
my RCN Wi-Fi router to the thing that's right beside their studio. And I was like, oh, I didn't know NetherRealm was in Chicago.
Okay. That's cool.
You know what? I'm gonna. Normally, I don't really keep track of points on this one. I'm gonna make a point of keeping track of the score sheet here. All right. Good luck. Good job on that one, Chad. But you are now out of Chad lock. So you're going to be running and gunning the rest of this list. All right. Number 12. The 12th best-selling game of the year 2013 per the NPD Group /Circana is a family-friendly platforming game. It was developed by Vicarious Visions and Beanox. It once again makes no mention of a certain PlayStation mascot
Skylanders
that's
Swap.
technically
Skylanders
now
Giants.
owned.
I said Giants. He said Swap. We both said Skylanders, though.
I'm going to say that you are both incorrect.
Yeah, I know it's a Skylanders game. I just need to know the subtitle, which I don't know if I'm going to be able to remember. We'll see.
This is the final clue. Having not actually played it myself, I can only assume that it teaches you about the force of swapping.
But Skylanders Swap Force.
Fuck.
There we go. There we go.
You got to say it all, Chad.
Skylanders Swap. Here we go. All right. Number 11. The 11th best-selling game of the year 2013 per the NPD Group /Circana is a sports game. The PlayStation 2 version of this game was the only game to be released. No, hold on. Hold on. Did I do a spelling error, or is my sentence structure just weird but grammatically correct? Hold on, guys. We got to pause the game. Got to zoom in here real quick. PlayStation.
It's Madden 13,
no, it's correct. And that is incorrect.
Oh, well.
The PlayStation 2 version of this game was only released in PAL territories and Spanish-speaking markets, and was one of the last games, period, to be released on the PlayStation 2. It was developed and published by ye old
FIFA 14.
Electronic Arts. That is correct. FIFA 14.
Oh, that's right. FIFA's not off the list. That's why I was thinking of last year's Madden. You're right.
Yeah. Cover athlete Lionel Messi. Once again. Number 10. The 10th best-selling game of the year 2013, per the NPD Group / Circana, is the third game in its series. It's a game that was well received at the time of its release, but has since garnered a mixed reputation. It is a first-person shooter, and it taught us that there's always
Bioshock Infinite.
A lighthouse. That is correct. Chad has got 3 and... Oh, no, wait. Is that correct?
Yeah, correct. It's correct. Yeah.
Okay, doubting my expertise.
Just making sure. No, I just making sure, because I know there was a lot of confusion surrounding FIFA 14. Anyways, the 9th best-selling game of the year 2013, per the NPD Group / Circana, is a game that was developed by Avalanche Software. It's the only other game on this list.
Disney Infinity.
That is correct.
Whoa.
Good job.
How did you know Avalanche did Disney Infinity? I don't know who the fuck did that game.
Because it's the other. Because they're like, one of them makes Mad Max and the other one made Disney Infinity. So it's like, oh, this is probably the Disney Infinity guys. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of those studios that I think eventually got closed when Disney Infinity didn't really do what they wanted it to be. The 8th best-selling game of the year 2013, per the NPD Group / Circana, is set within a fictional region inspired by Le France. Bonjour, bonjour.
Bonjour.
Pokemon Black and White.
That is incorrect.
It's a Pokemon. I don't fucking know which one it is.
It's the only game exclusive to a Nintendo console on this list.
Pokemon X and Y.
That is correct.
Oh, and it was one of those fucking Pokemon games. I didn't know which one.
You got it.
There we go.
You got it.
Well, I was trying to figure out whether it was going to be X and Y or Black, White, and Black 2.
You didn't want to say it before. Yeah, I got you.
But the problem is that Black and White and Black and White 2 both take place within a region inspired by the United States. Like, they both
stopped
are
playing
in
those
the
baby
same
games
area.
by the time Black and White came out.
I started replaying them in my 20s.
You should have still been playing them, otherwise Adam wouldn't be catching up to you. The 7th best-selling game of the year 2013, per the NPD Group / Circana, is a returning title from last year's list. It features 2 interconnected. Nope, that's not right. That sounds like a breakfast that I would enjoy. That would feature a whole lot of scrambled eggs and pancakes and occasionally cereal. It features 2 interconnected storylines. One that takes place in the 1980s. The other that takes place in the year 2025. Just 1 year removed from where we're at now. It was the first game in its series to feature futuristic warfare technology.
Call of Duty Black Ops 2?
That is correct.
Ooh.
The Adam Vengeance continues.
Remember, you had the little data pad.
No, I didn't play that grown-up ass game.
I only played teenage games. Only teenage games in that year.
Adam, you can help me with this one. Was this the F to Pay Respects game? Or is this a couple
No,
of
that's
games
Advanced Warfare.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right. Number 6. The 6th best-selling game of the year 2013, per the NPD Group, is this year's NBA 2K game.
2K14.
Chad, because you're...
we know the game.
Yes, that's what it's called. But I'm going to give you the opportunity to earn a point on the board if you can tell me who its
LeBron
cover
James. I don't know. Who the fuck knows? Adam knows. You know it's a guaranteed point for him.
It was literally
LeBron James. Fucking suck it, Adam.
Boom. Oh, yeah.
James.
So good.
Chad, you get a point. Good job. Wow. Number 5. The 5th best-selling game of the year 2013, per the NPD Group / Circana, is an action
Assassin's
adventure
Creed Black
game.
Flag 4. Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag.
Let's do guesses.
That is correct. The latter one is correct. Good job. All right, here we go. Number 4. The fourth best-selling game of the year 2013 per the NPD Group / Circana is a game that is very appropriately placed on this list.
What number is it again?
It is a sequel to one of the biggest games of 2011. It was heavily criticized at the time of its release for its numerous bugs and technical issues. And it is...
Fallout 4?
I'm afraid that is incorrect. In terms of genre, it is
Oblivion.
a first-person shooter. That is also incorrect. I will go ahead and I will read through the clues again. Is the fourth best-selling game of the year 2013 per the NPD Group / Circana is a game that is very appropriately placed on this spot on the list. It's a sequel to one of the biggest games of 2011. It was heavily criticized at the time of its release for its numerous bugs and technical issues, and it is a first-person shooter.
Oh, Battlefield 4.
Oh.
It is Battlefield 4.
I didn't play that adolescent-ass game.
All right. Chad and Adam are tied with 5 points each. Number 3. The third best-selling game of the year 2013 per the NPD Group / Circana is this year's Madden. Now, here's the thing. Normally, this is where I'd be like, can you guess who the cover athlete of this one is? I'm going to say right up front, the 7th generation version of this game featured the former Detroit Lions running back Barry Sanders on the cover, while the 8th generation version features Minnesota Vikings running back Adrian Peterson. You already know that. I've already revealed it. I've already spilt the milk. Can you tell me what this game's name is?
Madden 25.
Correct.
Well,
which means that Adam gets another point.
We know Adam has an encyclopedic
25th
knowledge of
anniversary.
Madden. We know that's a guaranteed point, and we were tied.
It was
Oh
tied.
my God.
We were tied. Just
Your
gotta
rules
give
are
a point.
horse shit.
Hate to see it.
The second best-selling game of the year 2013 per the NPD Group / Circana is this year's Call of Duty. Chad? You're trailing behind Adam.
Sure.
So here's some free points on the board.
Are you asking me who's on the cover of it or what the name of it is? Ghost.
Which Call of Duty is this one? That is correct.
Oh, yeah. Because it launched with the new one. Yeah. Oh, look at this. Tied up.
And here we go. The number one
Just Dance.
best-selling game. That is incorrect. That is also incorrect. The number one best-selling game of the year 2013 per the NPD Group is one of a select handful of non-Call of Duty games to top these lists, which is basically a complete non-clue.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read these as is. Clearly, you guys are having a tough time, but I'm not going to change my clues to be any more helpful.
No.
It's a game that you probably should have guessed by now.
God.
It's a game that, seriously, you probably should have guessed by now. And by this point, if you still don't know what it is, I can't help you.
Oh, my God.
Who writes these things?
I seriously thought we were going to get to this spot and you guys were going to immediately yell it out. But apparently, you guys have some short-term memories here.
I don't know what you want me to do, bud. I know you assume that we
GTA
know what
5.
it is. But we've already said 2 Call of Duties.
Fuck
It is
yeah.
GTA 5,
No, I
which
didn't
means
think
that
about
Chad wins this round
Good on you,
of
Chad.
TMI with NPD. A well-earned, well-fought victory,
It was
Chad.
not
It's not a
without
clue.
adversity from the overlords. Just say that.
Yes.
That's it for Game
Let's
on
put it
Game
that
Show.
way.
And
some
that's
other
it for
highlights.
episode
Hold on, real quick.
Episode 350 of Respawn. AIM.
You don't want to hear about some other
here's some other
highlights from the 2013 list? At the number 14 spot, unfortunately, it was not at the number 1 spot, Adam. It is The Last of Us.
Yeah.
I mean, still respectable. It got
No, I
into
forgot
the
about Grand
top
Theft Auto.
20, but
That's the obvious answer. You're right. Once
it
I
is a
remember
little
what
surprising
year it is.
because, like, when we got to the end of that year, it felt like it was a three-way race between The Last of Us, BioShock Infinite, and Grand Theft Auto 5 in terms of the most, critically acclaimed game of that year, the game everyone would give all the accolades and awards to. And yet The Last of Us, despite being the winner, some would argue in the end, kind of the game that sold the least of them.
But remember my segment from Adam. No one gives a shit. The kids don't fucking care. The kids care about shooting stuff with their friends in Grand Theft Auto.
The Last of Us also the only console exclusive of the three. It was only available on PS3 at the time.
Yeah.
Whereas
but BioShock was also like number 9 on the list. Yeah. It's not a Grand Theft Auto.
Number 16, Batman Arkham Origins.
Oh, yeah.
Christmas Batman.
Santa Batman.
Batman's fighting off people in Christmas time. And number 20, Tomb Raider 2013.
Okay, I like the game a lot.
Yeah.
Big fan.
I like it fine.
That's it for Game On Game
Chad,
Show, and that is it for episode 350 of Respawn Aim Fire. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Remember, you have homework. Wait a week, and then go play Dave the Diver on PlayStation if you have PlayStation Extra or Premium, because that's our barf game for this month. I was going to say year and then season, but it's month. That's Backlog Accomplishment with Respawn and Friends. If you want to vote on what is next, what are we playing in May? You can do that on patreon.com/respawnaimfire or twitter.com/respawnaimfire. We will have that up towards the end of the month. You get to vote. Your vote counts much more on Patreon, so just keep that in mind. There are game shows that are out. We have a monthly game show that we put out with 30 days of exclusivity-ish to patrons first. Right now, the patrons have access to our live RAF from an apartment in Boston. I was going to say from PAX, but that's not technically true. From an apartment in Boston. Well, Cambridge, Massachusetts, next to Boston, where PAX was.
To be fair, most of the questions and answers that I came up with for that particular Rafferty show were questions and answers that I was originally preparing for perhaps something that we might have done on a big stage on the PAX show floor that maybe did or did not turn out. So
yeah, there you go. Go watch that. Show. It was a grand old time. And if you are not a person who likes to support us on Patreon, if you hate everything about us, but you still can't stop looking at our faces and listening to our mouths, you can go right now to YouTube and you can watch the previous one, which was Pitch Perfect. That was Pitch Perfect with Mario Rivera, with Kyle Stevenson. Had John Hansen. We had Samson Lee, all on that. It was a good old time. Go listening to that.
Does somebody mention Bad Dragon and Cozy has no idea what Bad Dragon is? Tune in to find out.
Does somebody I don't even remember that.
Does somebody pitch an adults-only version of Nintendo Labo? Maybe. I don't know. Go find out. That's up right now on podcast services and YouTube as well for everyone else. I think that's it. Cool. My dog's outside growling at somebody from up on his little Rapunzel tower. So with that, here's our usual sign-off. I'm going to go spray my dog with a bottle of water.